You ever get the feeling Gotham doesn't want saving? I mean, you dig deep enough, and there's always another layer of filth, like it's protecting something underneath it all.
It's protecting its owners. The court's been here longer than the skyline, older than the laws I enforce. They don't live in the dark. They built the dark so men like us would never see the ceiling.
Yeah, I read the files. Politicians, judges, CEOs, all the same families pulling the strings. But what gets me is how nobody ever talks about them. How do you make an entire city forget who runs it?
You don't erase truth, you replace it. They flood the noise with distractions. Elections, charity galas, new skylines. A constant stream of motion so no one stops to look up. The trick isn't secrecy. It's overexposure.
You've hit them before, though. Exposed their nests, tore through their infrastructure. Yet they always come back. Doesn't that tell you the system can't be fixed, only cleared?
The system isn't the problem. The apathy is. You kill 10 of them, 20 more rise from their trust funds. It's not about body count, it's about influence. I've learned you don't scare people out of corruption. You shame them out of comfort.
Comfort's a strong word for men who sleep behind iron gates and human shields. I say burn the mansions and let the ashes settle evenly. Fear works when nothing else does.
Fear doesn't fix anything, it just freezes it. They already use fear to keep Gotham obedient. Fear of poverty, of rebellion, of truth. I use it differently, to wake people up. You burn the city, they rebuild. You show them what controls them, they revolt.
You ever think you and the court aren't that different? Both shadows keeping balance in your own ways. They control chaos to protect order. You control fear to protect justice. Looks like two sides of the same madness.
I've thought about that more times than I'll admit. The difference is in intent. They manipulate because they see people as pieces. I protect because I see the damage pieces can do. The method overlaps, but the purpose divides everything.
Their talons, those undead hitmen they use. That's what made me realize how deep their control runs. Even death doesn't mean escape in Gotham. You ever feel like you're fighting something eternal?
The talons aren't immortal. They're victims turned into weapons. The court perfected dependency. Even the dead serve them. They treat loyalty like resurrection. But eternal or not, they bleed when you cut off their purpose.
You talk about purpose like it still means something here. But every time you rebuild Gotham, it breaks itself again. You expose corruption, it adapts. You take out predators, new ones grow teeth. How do you keep calling that progress?
Progress isn't permanent, it's pressure. Every night I apply enough force to stop collapse for one more day. That's all Gotham needs. Another day. The court wants permanence. I want endurance. There's a difference.
So, what's your endgame? You can't outlive them, can't outspend them, can't even scare them. They've seen every threat before. What's left to hit?
The story. Every empire needs its mythology, and the court built theirs around control. I've been rewriting that myth one rooftop at a time. Making Gotham believe power doesn't mean untouchable anymore. Fear is contagious, but so is rebellion.
You're still chasing belief in a city that worships power. That's noble, but I call it delusion. Sometimes I think you'd sleep better if you did what I do. End the story instead of rewriting it.
Ending it's easy. The challenge is keeping it worth living. The court feeds on despair. If I start killing out of exhaustion, I become their proof that no one can rise above the rot. I can't give them that satisfaction.
You sound like a man trying to win a game that never ends. Don't you ever get tired of playing by rules no one else respects?
All the time. But the rule isn't for them. It's for me. The moment I drop it, everything I've built turns into another mask for the same corruption. The court doesn't fear the bat. They fear the idea that someone refuses to become them.
You think Gotham even knows what you're fighting for anymore? The city sees you and the court as the same kind of myth. Monsters in expensive costumes.
Maybe. But myths change depending on who tells the story. They hide in luxury, I hide in filth. They thrive on silence, I thrive on noise. As long as people whisper my name with hope and theirs with fear, the balance still leans my way.
They tried to recruit me once. Said I could channel my violence into purpose, join something historic. I laughed in their faces, but I'll tell you this. Part of me understood them. They believe in order, not chaos that's seductive for men like us.
That's how they trap men like us. They offer clarity when the world gets too blurred. purpose when guilt gets too loud. But order without conscience is just sterilized evil. They make monsters efficient, not better.
You know, sometimes I think you're not fighting to save Gotham. You're fighting to prove it deserves saving. You could leave, start over, clean slate. Why stay in a place that keeps breeding its own nightmares?
Because this is where nightmares belong. If I leave, they spread. If I stay, they stay contained. Gotham isn't a city to fix. It's a wound to manage. And as long as it bleeds, someone has to keep the infection from reaching the world.